In our last video, we talked about why we don't think that it is a good idea to build your dream house in the Philippines. The link to that video is below. So what should you do instead? If you are still considering building your house in the Philippines, we will walk you through our thought process that led us to what we believe is the best of all worlds. Building a house in the Philippines, not breaking the bank, and yet experiencing all the beauty and luxury that the Philippines and many other places in Asia offer. We will also cover what we believe is the reasonable cost of such a house and what we think is a much better way to use your saved money. Believe me if I tell you that we were strongly considering building our dream house in the Philippines, and we already had all the designs worked out. It was literally supposed to be our happily after. But for a variety of reasons, it eventually did not work out the way we would want it. At first, we were quite disappointed, I will admit that. But in retrospect, we are glad that things turned out the way they did. Ultimately, our decision to abandon the idea of building this huge and beautiful dream house with a nice 14 by 8 meter swimming pool was greatly influenced by several longer stays around the Philippines, Bali, and Thailand. That's when we realized that there are so many gorgeous places where you can stay literally for peanuts compared to what you would pay for the same luxury in US or in Europe. I mean, to pay $60 to $70 a night in a 4 or 5-star resort with multiple infinity pools, free breakfast, and daily room service at the beachfront? Are you kidding me? Nope, I'm not. But I get it. You still want to have the place in the Philippines that you can call home. And so do we. We want to be able to keep our belongings somewhere and have a place where we can return to relax for a while and recharge before our next adventure. So what we decided to do instead is that we opted for building a much smaller house that is comfortable, cozy, and will fulfill just that. Instead of spending several $100,000 on a mansion with a swimming pool, we decided to build a simple 2-bedroom house furnished with all the necessities to live comfortably. But that's it. So how much would it cost you to build this kind of house, and why do we think that this is really all you need? My wife has a background in civil engineering, and before we got married, she worked on several major resorts projects in Metro Manila as a project supervisor. So she is well familiar with the construction challenges in the Philippines and has some knowledge of construction budgeting. We are also currently building a very small adjunct studio house for her parents, which is in a way also a testing of our budgeting theory. When it is done, we will share more details in one of our future videos. So far, all I can tell you that it is completely possible to build a simple, comfortable house for no more than $50,000 depending on your location and what kind of construction you are looking for. But if you want to go down to the very basics, you could probably do it for less than half of that. So this will leave you with about $200,000 to $250,000 in your pocket if you plan to build a luxury home in the Philippines with the current prices. If you are at least a little financially literate, which I expect you are if you have that kind of money to invest, I'm sure that you can find a way to invest the money in a smart way to make the money work for you. If not, talk to your financial advisor. There are many options for how to preserve your capital and collect a nice profit on this kind of investment. So let's do a little math. If you are already retired, which I assume if you are planning to move to the Philippines, you do have some form of monthly income. If you put it together with your investment from the money that you saved by not spending it on building an insane dream house in the Philippines, you can not only live a very comfortable life in the Philippines, but what's more, you cannot afford to go every couple of months or so to those amazing places around Asia to spend a month or two in someone else's beautiful house or a resort with the gorgeous views and amenities that you will never have no matter how luxurious house you build. all while you are preserving your capital and have no worries about expensive maintenance of your house. On top of that, you now have a freedom to move every few months to a different place and experience new adventures and sights in that area. This is in sharp contrast to having an expensive mansion and being stuck in one place. So, what is the actual outcome? You now have an inexpensive home base in the Philippines that will open the door for you into the entire Asia. You can literally do country hopping if you will, since it takes only a few hours to travel between Philippines, Thailand, Bali, Indonesia, and so on. I'll say one thing though. If you tell me that all this sounds good, but man, I'm not able to travel because I'm old and I'm not so mobile anymore, or my favorite, I have too many health issues that prevent me from extensive traveling, then I have to break down for you very bad news. In this case, you really should probably stay where you are and forget about moving to the Philippines. I'm sorry, but I really don't think that it is for you. As a foreigner who has been used to a different level of healthcare throughout your life, you do not want to live in a country with limited healthcare resources, having multiple health problems that may have pretty dark consequences that I don't think are worth taking chances on. That brings me to the next point. If you build this small house and spend your time in Asia between living there and traveling around for a few years, and then all of a sudden something changes, your health gets worse, you have a situation that requires you to move back to your home country, and so on. Guess what? You will have no regrets leaving behind a small house that already fulfilled its purpose. You can easily maintain this kind of simple house because it is just a small construction and you still have all your cash to do whatever you need to do, such as buying a house or a condo in your country if you have to move back permanently. Additionally, doing my research for the past few years, I have noticed one interesting trend, and that is that it's quite difficult to sell older big houses in the Philippines compared to the US, for example. Most people want new constructions, not old houses, so keep this also in mind. Once the construction of our small house is completed, we will post an update on that and go over the cost of this kind of small house to give you an idea what would it cost you to build something a little more elaborate. Until then, we will see you in our next video.